Okay, we are live. Welcome back to another watch party. And this one is Nets Boston. And I'm that G'd up that I've decided to wear a jersey for like one of the only times I have this year. I'm actually that G'd up. I actually think that we have a very good chance of winning. It's Valentine's Day in Australia. It is Chinese New Year night in the NBA. And yeah, I mean, this is a big opportunity for this team to go into the All Star break with a little bit of form and carry that right the way through to the other side when we return in about a week's time. The Celtics, you can see they're starting five. They do have one big absence, and it's Kristaps Porzingis, who did torch us earlier in the year, and we had a fair few struggles with dealing with him because obviously how tall he is, his ability to get to those spots that are much, much closer, and that gives him the advantage instantly. But with an absence for the Celtics comes a returning player for the Nets. Day'Ron Sharpe is back for the team, which means if I open up the injury report, we've only got two players, and you've just seen them both. Dariq Whitehead and Cam Johnson on the injury report. Cam Johnson has actually been confirmed to play tomorrow. Whether he starts or not, that's a different story, but I don't know why he would change the starting lineup if we get a win today, of course. So, historically, this team has been really tough to get through. I think since 2021, that playoff series where we got swept, we've only beaten them once, and it was the game at the TD Garden last year where we came back from 28 points down and got the victory. So it's pretty tough against the Celtics every single time we play them. Very hard to come by wins against this opposition. So it's going to be, well, a real test of character, I would say for sure. So I'm pretty excited to see what on earth we do, whether or not we deliver. Dennis Schroeder, the first game in the team, we ended up seeing 15 points and 12 dimes from him, so it's pretty clear that he is going to be a great asset, not only for him, like in terms of what he brings, but also the fact that his facilitation will open up better opportunities for players like Claxton, who constantly has been on the end of some terrible alley-oop passes. So, if you've got one player that can actually distribute and get the job done on that front, then you're going to get a lot more high percentage looks simply by flushing it down off those lob passes. So, overall, I'm really eager to see what this team can do as we get healthier and healthier. I think we've probably experienced the worst that we'll experience this season. That's at least my hope, of course. But I think, as this team gets healthier, yes, it's going to be more difficult to manage minutes, and I think a few players will miss out. Jalen Wilson will probably be stiff when Cam Johnson returns. And then you've also got, Day'Ron Sharpe to add into the mixer. So Ben Simmons may not be, he can probably play more minutes starting with Claxton because, we've got that insurance policy off the bench with Day'Ron Sharpe. If Ben needs to play the five, he can. And that's probably going to occur if Day'Ron Sharpe gets in a foul trouble, which he's done quite a few times in his career. So I think that now we've got quite a few options where we've got a lot of versatility. It's just like whether or not these players actually show off in the roles that they're supposed to play. Am I frozen? On my screen, I've dropped frames, but barely. I think I'm okay. Let me know if I'm fine. I mean, I did have a few issues with the computer this morning, but it looks far smoother than what it was, the other day when we started the stream. It was fucking disgusting the way the stream started the other day. So, let's just hope the frames don't drop and we can experience a pretty smooth watch party experience. Those of you who have just joined us, make sure to drop a like nice and early on. Get this stream off to a good start. Yeah, that's basically all I had to say. The starting fives, in case you've missed it, the Nets are running with the same five that we ran the other day, which is, let me just get it up, Ben Finney-Smith, Cam Thomas, Mikal Bridges, and Nic Claxton. And then for Boston, they are missing Porzingis, so Horford slots into the 5 position. And then they've got their star-studded other 4 players, you know, Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, Jrue Holiday, and Derek White, all in that mix for the starting 5. So, you know, we're going to have our work cut out for us nonetheless. I mean, it was always going to be like this, I think. You know, Boston are a very good team. They've only lost 12 games on the year. They have won 20 more than us. So I go into this one expecting a loss, but I'm mildly confident that we can actually get a result here because, you know, I think this team, well, we have a very small sample of what they can do with Ben mixing in with this group of players. And Schroeder's only played 1 game, but he fit in seamlessly and had some great dimes to his name the other day. Alrighty. Not too far away before we kick things off in this game. Alrighty. Ooh. I'm going to put a poll up. Start the poll. Pretty simple stuff yet again. Who wins? Nets, Celtics? You can take your pick. If I can just type it out. I'm holding my water bottle, so multitasking here. There we go. So chuck in your predictions for who wins. We shouldn't have too much more time to wait. Interestingly enough, we are playing with we're playing in the white uniforms at home. Now, that's something that we haven't seen, I don't think, like, for the longest time, to be honest. That's a really weird sort of thing we're running with. And infamously, we cannot play well for shit with the white uniforms. But I'm happy to be proven wrong here. We're about to get underway. This is the first of 2 matchups with the Celtics over 2 nights. We play them in Brooklyn tonight, and then we play them in Boston at the Garden tomorrow. So 2 important games, I think, for this team, just to get a gauge of where they sit. This team supposedly wants to take themselves seriously and remain competitive. So all I can ask for is that we actually bring the heat from minute 1, play that way all the way through to minute 48, and whatever the result is, the result is. But I don't want to see this team be pushovers. They've got, well, Boston have no one taller than 6'9". Their centers, well, Horford, and then they're gonna have Tatum playing the 4 or Brown playing the 4. So you've got to exploit that physicality. I mean, they're going to be a very switchable team, but, you know, players like Ben Simmons are going to need to be really assertive here. And we've slowly seen him sort of flourish recently. He scored 13 points the other day, took 7 shots and made 6. So that is, well, you know, that's him trending in the right direction, I would imagine. So we don't have much time left. Claxton is also averaging some really good numbers in the 2024 calendar year. About 13 points and 11 rebounds. To go with a couple blocks a game, he's actually averaged 4 blocks per game in his last 5. So he's been superb in that regard. And the switch defense has really optimized the way he's been playing. But yeah, I mean, you want to be taken seriously, or if you want to be taken seriously, you've got to deliver and rock up for games like this. So that's going to be, I would imagine, the main focus. Cam Thomas is going to have pressure on him to perform, and then the same with Mikal Bridges as well. So here we go, Claxton and Horford in the jump ball, and Claxton wins the jump, understandably, because Horford is ancient. Simmons finds Bridges, early three, yes sir. And Mikal's shooting 41% from three on 10 threes a game in his last 10 games. So he's putting up a lot of shots, and he's making a high percentage of those. Brown is picked up by Finney-Smith in the paint and steps back for two and converts. And both teams are on the board within the first 30 seconds of the game. So 3-2, Brooklyn lead. Simmons out to Thomas. That's an open look as well from top of the key, and that one rims out. Did a full 360 on the rim. Holiday will bounce past it to Tatum, who's got Thomas on him. You need to help him out, but no one did help him out. And Tatum with an easy reverse under the basket, and the Nets trail by one. Simmons to Finney-Smith. Out to Bridges. And then the high screen by Claxton arrives. Shoots over Horford. Good box out by Brown. Didn't allow Claxton to get under the basket. And another miss for the Nets early on. Brown will feed Horford. How on earth has Thomas found himself on, well, probably the two worst matchups for him on the entire team in 2 consecutive possessions? Got to be far more disciplined than that. Thomas, the floater, is good, and he gets his first basket of the game. So Bridges and Thomas on the board early, but we're yet to really get a stop. So Claxton will be tasked with the assignment of guarding Jayson Tatum, who gets into the paint, shoots and misses, and Tatum wanted a whistle, gave a look at the refs, but did not get the call. Simmons, good cut by Finney-Smith. He goes vertical and scores through the contact for two. It's Ben Simmons with the dime, finding the cutter down the middle, and the Nets are up 7-6. And it's fair to say offense has been a staple of this game in a very short matter of time. Holiday, please guard, and, well, we don't do a great job. 8-7 Boston. They still haven't missed, aside from that Jayson Tatum layup. Thomas dared to shoot the three, lobs it up to Claxton. He drew 2 defenders. And it's fair to say that this has been a very free-flowing start early on. Brown is picked up by Simmons. He's trapped, so he has to roll it back out to Derek White, and now to the corner for Brown again, who's got Ben Simmons on him in the corner. The 3 is put up, and that rims out. The rebound by Claxton, and now Bridges. So Mikal will use that Claxton screen up top, get into the paint. He has to pick up his dribble and roll it back out to Ben. Sends it back to Mikal on the wing. He's got Horford on him this time, and he takes it inside and blows the layup. Could not be any more of a gimme sort of layup, and he's just completely fluffed it. And then Derek White one-ups him by piffing it out of play, looking for Jaylen Brown. A bit of miscommunication on the read there, and it will be Nets ball. So first turnover of the game for Boston, and Ben Simmons will look to help us get this lead back up, or up a little bit. Claxton takes it in on Tatum, shoots, misses, got his own miss, and scored. But there was a foul before the putback, so it will be free throws instead. So we get those 2 points that we would have scored off the putback chalked off. So it's going to be Claxton at the free throw line. The offense has looked pretty good in the opening couple of minutes, I have to say. So Clax at the line, shooting a couple of free throws. And that one looks like the exact sort of rotation that a Ben Simmons free throw would get. And it explains the result. Clank. And he's got one more free throw to make amends and get us an extra point on the board, which could be valuable down the line. Second free throw coming up. And that hits back iron, and it's knocked to the Boston Celtics advantage. So first 2 free throws out. So we basically lost 2 points. Luckily, good roll by Holiday. The kick out to Horford. One more to White. He's ready to fire. And he hits back iron. The board by Cam Thomas. So Thomas picks up his dribble, gives it to Finney-Smith. It was knocked away by White, but Bridges was able to recover. And now Claxton, the handoff to Thomas, gets inside. Good pump fake, opens it up, and he just blew the wide open look. And the Celtics were able to shield the landing space so Brown could swoop. And now he will be able to get them into a set. He's going to feed Holiday in the post, who will cook on Cam Thomas. Claxton the help, White the cutter, and he scored the layup. And the Celtics get the lead back. And we're going to get an early timeout here at about the 7:49 mark. And it's fair to say that, well, we've gotten some really good looks. The ball is moving. But there's just been a little bit of unluckiness. A couple of shots have rimmed out. There's been one that was chalked off because the foul was called prior. So there's a couple things that could have easily gone our way to give us a nice little early lead, but instead we trail by 1. That being said, I'm not too fussed about the way we've started. I think it's been a pretty pleasant start, to be honest. We've seen nearly every single player get on the board, and even though Ben hasn't scored, he's been involved in some good play. And then for the Celtics, every single player has scored. So pretty well-rounded efforts on both sides of the ball. For the Nets, they're shooting 4 of 8, been to the free throw line once, haven't made any of those shots. And then for Boston, they're 5 of 8, haven't made a 3, haven't made a free throw because they haven't attempted one. So it's pretty well balanced in the early going. Only 4 minutes have elapsed, so not too much of a sample size early on. I would say, yeah, there's not really something that one team has the advantage over compared to the other. That's just an observation of mine. So that is the situation at the moment as it currently stands. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back tomorrow night to do this all over again. Same teams, different venue, but it'll be the final game before the All-Star break. So if you want to get your fix of Nets basketball just before we have a nice little week off, this is the place to be. If you want to get some, unhinged Nets fan calling the game. So, yeah, that is basically the situation for how streams will go, tomorrow. And then going forward, there are quite a few games that I can't do, but there are still plenty of games I can do. I think out of the 30 games, I miss 11 of them. So we're going to be doing basically all the games for the rest of the month. I think it amounts to 6 or 7 through to about March 4, March 5. Then it gets a little bit more tumultuous, and I can't really do as many games. But every now and then, every so often, there will be a stream where you can tune in, you can chat shit about the Nets, you can talk about anything that you're happy about with this team, that you're disappointed about with this team. This is a nice little community where you can do all that. So, irrespective of how often I do things, make sure to tune in when I am live. So, 10-9, Boston up. We return from the timeout with no changes for either side in terms of personnel. Bridges will get into the paint and kick it out to Thomas. And now up top to Finney-Smith, who will drive on Brown, give it to Simmons, who is in the low block, and he's going to take on White, shoot with the right hand, and he bloody airballed it. He's got to take on that matchup. Tatum is there for the lob, and he was able to rim run. There was no one going with, and that was just a very easy regulation sort of play. And that was, probably as easy as it'll get, aside from maybe the All-Star game. Bridges doesn't hesitate on another 3, and that one rims out as well. So he's not afraid to take him. Brown will look to get into early offense, and Finney-Smith does not really shuffle the feet, and Brown was able to miss badly. So DFS, excellent defensive work. Simmons will shovel it to Claxton up top, and they'll give it to Bridges. We'll go down the middle. Space opened up. Where was the foul, bro? Oh, that is a joke, man. That is clear contact. Brown the drive. and it's an easy finger roll layup. I just don't understand how that's not a foul. I just don't understand how that's not a foul. The Celtics have scored every one of their points in the paint. That's more rim running by Tatum. He scores another dunk, and I'm pretty sure JV is going to call a timeout. If he doesn't, he's a fucking clown. The Celtics have gone on an 8-0 run, and pre-game, JV highlighted transition defense and rebounding as the two main issues for this team against Boston. Well, it's clear to see that when the Celtics have, run from end to end, they have killed us. And that's why they've gone on this little 8-0 run. That is just a terrible lob by Bridges, but it fortuitously went off the backboard into Bridges' lap, and he was able to put it up for two. So a little bit of fortune. Schroeder is getting ready to check in off the bench, and he is just about to check in. Sam Hauser, Luke Cornett, both into the game for the Celtics. I don't really understand why Mikal and Cam Thomas are shoveled in the corners while Ben puts up a shit shot. I like Ben taking shots, but he's got to be looking to get shots up off the backboard from about 5 feet away. Get in the paint. He's just not shuffling defenders enough. So, Schroeder and Dennis Smith Jr. in the game. Lonnie Walker's also in the game, so he plays smaller. Good cross-court pass. Hauser on the wing. That hits back iron. Schroeder with the rebound, and he's going to look to get into it. It's Bridges who will give it out to Schroeder, who drives down the middle. The kick out to Walker, behind the back to Schroeder, who will look for a cutter, but there is none on. He is doubled. Finney Smith, pump fake. Schroeder's open for three. That's great ball movement, and Schroeder hits the three, and he's already on the board. And that is just excellent ball movement. Playing through Schroeder does well. Horford definitely had the toe on the line, but he hits. Apparently his toe was not on the line, but I find that pretty contentious. So the Celtics respond, up 5. They're playing zone. Walker out to Schroeder again, who's given the space, and he hits again. Dennis, mate, what a start. This is the exact same way he started the other day as well. Just on an absolute tear scoring-wise. I think he scored 8 points and had 4 assists in the opening quarter last game. Holiday the drive, and he scores over Schroeder. So, I mean, the Celtics have an answer for everything at the moment. They are shooting 67% from the field. Schroeder to Walker. Back to Schroeder. To the corner for Bridges. The 3 is off, and it was Cornett contesting. Holiday is going to drive it. The switch, step back on the baseline is short. The rebound by Walker, and he's going to look to probably get into things with the athleticism he's got. Dennis Smith, back out to Walker. Will pull the trigger from top of the key, and he will hit as well. It's down to a 1-point deficit. And the Nets, well, the 3-point shooting has been rock solid. 4 of 7 from the outside. The Celtics have only made 1 3-pointer. It's Holiday to Horford. Back to Holiday. Now the switch. And now Bridges will have to contest that Horford shot. It's an easy push shot for Al Horford. And I don't know where Day'Ron Sharpe is. He's about to check in now. Speak of the devil. Jalen Wilson's also getting ready. So I would assume Finney Smith will go to the bench with Bridges. Walker will... Oh, wow, that's a sick crossover move, and he knocks it down. That is fucking delicious. That was a delicious dribble move to lose Holiday and create a little bit of separation. Scores on the wing. That's the 5th 3-point make for the Nets. Holiday to Horford to Hauser. The 3 on the move. Yes. Response required and response delivered. So 26-23. Walker out to Finney Smith, who will give it back out to Schroeder up top. And now the switch, he's got Hauser on him. 7 to shoot. What a pass to Dennis Smith, but it was actually too hot for him. And it's going to be a timeout. So Schroeder's going to get the turnover, I think. But I'm pretty sure that was all Dennis Smith's fault there. 2:29 to play in the first quarter. It is 26-23. And it's been highly entertaining this first quarter. As you can see, Boston getting a fair bit of, well, they've had some very good scoring options in this first quarter. 7 to Horford. He actually leads the way, and Tatum's got 6. They are shooting lights out from the field and 3. I guess the only caveat of their performance is that they have not attempted a free throw to open things up, that they have only turned the ball over once. That being said, it has not been a high turnover game. That turnover by Schroeder was actually the first. Well, it will go down to Dennis Smith as a turnover for him. But that is the first turnover of the game for the Nets. So very free-flowing performance. Walker's got 6. Schroeder's got 6. Both have made 2 of their threes, both of them. And we're shooting the ball just as well as the Celtics, even though we've attempted, we've attempted the same amount, made 3 less, but it's the 3-pointers which are giving us a good red-hot crack at it. Bridges is not shooting it too well, and Cam Thomas has only made the 2 points. So the bench scoring is, well, I think welcomed, and equally welcomed is going to be Day'Ron Sharpe entering the game after the timeout, because Luke Cornett and Horford is a bit of a tall front court for us to really deal with, given we were playing Finney-Smith at the 5 and Bridges at the 4. So it's fair to say that our defense has not been great, but the offense is really, really important for the position we're currently in at the moment. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new as well. We'll be back for Nets versus the Boston Celtics tomorrow. So make sure to tune in for that one as well. That should be a cracking game as well. I'm excited to see what we can do with that game as well. Every single time we play Boston, they always go on this really clear-cut run that we just cannot recover from. We don't have the assets or personnel to really claw back into the game, apart from that outlier where we, came back from the 28-point deficit. So, those comebacks barely happen in the NBA. So it's going to be one of those things where we can't afford to get into such a hole. We've got to make sure we remain neck and neck with them basically every step of the way. I actually think a lead is more dangerous for this team. If we trail by a couple of possessions, I think it's going to be the sort of, kick up the backside we need, because sometimes we can get complacent and a little bit too comfortable with the lead we have. So we're playing a bit of zone, but it's just like the ineffective kind. So Sharpe is in, Wilson is in, so the offense is a little bit questionable with this lineup. Tatum is picked up by Wilson, who has played some good defense in the past. Oh my god, and Hauser gets a long rebound, so Pritchard for 3, and he misses, and Wilson gets the board. It's a good rebound, because Tatum was on his hammer. Smith the drive, Walker is open, gets by the closeout, and that has to be a foul. He's somehow able to scoop it up and in, around and over Cornett, who obviously has a crap ton of height over him. Tatum for 3, we went under the screen. You just cannot do that with a guy of his caliber. I don't care how inefficiently or efficiently he's shooting it. Schroeder into the paint, picks up his dribble and whips it back out to DSJ, and now Walker will use the Day'Ron Sharpe screen. Bounce pass to Schroeder. We've got 6 to shoot. He's going to have to make something happen. He takes it in. It's knocked away. Dennis got to put one up. It's a moving 3, and it looked online, but it's off, and Cornett will get the rebound. So we're about to enter the final minute of this first quarter. Another switch, and Day'Ron's playing a little bit of drop. You have to test it. And Day'Ron is giving him way too much space. Dennis is going under the screen, so it's allowing this room that you cannot afford, and the Celtics up 7 off the back of a couple of Tatum threes. Walker into the paint, will drive and score off the window because he's got Pritchard on him, so that's a well-exploited matchup there. And Walker's been on a tear early on. The bench have scored 16 of our 27 points. It's Tatum picked up by Schroeder, and oh my god. 3+1. And that's just not really acceptable either by Schroeder. I mean, he doesn't have the size on him, but you can't be reaching like that. Why is your hand on his arm? That is just asking for a whistle, and it's one of those fouls where you don't even affect the jump shot. That's why he was able to convert. So Tatum converts the free throw as well. He's hit 3 threes in a row, and just like that, he's got 16 points in the entire first quarter. So I think you have to play Finney-Smith on Tatum basically exclusively. You cannot have this occurrence, really. Wilson probably had an opening there to shoot it. Instead, he's going to give it to Day'Ron Sharpe, who got rid. That's a foul +1, and it's Day'Ron who will get 2 +1, of course. And so 2 free throws coming up for Day'Ron Sharpe there. Was able to shuffle Cornet out of the way. That's what Ben Simmons really should be doing. And so it's going to be a free throw for Day'Ron. It looks like Cornet actually tweaked his foot there. And I would not be one bit surprised if he goes to his bench, or to the bench, not only because there's 12 seconds left, but also because of that ankle tweak. So Day'Ron at the free throw line. 12 seconds left in the quarter. I beg we don't give up another Tatum 3. Claxton is in with Day'Ron Sharpe. Day'Ron converts. That's our first free throw connected. And it's going to be Claxton picking up Tatum, which I actually love as a little substitution here. They're going to give it to Tatum. You have to help defend him, I think. Tatum, that is a tough 2, and it's a rim grazer. And it's good defense by DSJ. Far better than a 3-point shot. And even though Tatum has scored 16 of their points, they only find themselves ahead by half a dozen. And I would say that actually isn't too bad of a quarter by the Brooklyn Nets. The offense was really, really good. But it's the defense, which we have prided ourselves on recently, which has actually been the major shortcoming. You can see Walker has not missed. He is the clear number 1 for this Nets team. In this game, at least, we're shooting it lights out from the field and 3, and the free throws, well, fair to say we haven't had too many of those. We've looked after the basketball. We've got a fair bit of diversity in our scoring. The bench has just been superb. But the problem is Tatum's got 16, and he is shooting perfectly from the outside. The Celtics also have 5 threes, and they're actually shooting it better than the Nets. So it's fair to say that we can't allow them to shoot that well going forward, because otherwise we're going to get absolutely killed. So it's fair to say that they haven't looked too damaged with Porzingis out. I mean, that probably speaks volumes about how good this Celtics team is, you know. And they've really scored, well, early on, they scored a bulk of their points inside the arc, even with the lack of size, closer to the rim. And then at the back end of the quarter, they really beefed up their score with those 3-pointers, of course, by Jayson Tatum. So 16 for him, and the Celtics lead by a commanding 6-point lead. I said this time after time, JB needs to start complaining about calls. He's way too soft. Yeah, he probably does. He probably needs to stick up for his team a little bit more than what he does. But, you know, that being said, I don't think he's going to do that. He's just not it's not within his nature to do something along those lines. I guarantee you, Thibodeau from the Knicks will get all the calls next game. Well, it's fair to say that wasn't even up for debate, that call that the Knicks didn't get. They got hit with a foul call. In case you missed it, it was 103 apiece, Houston versus the Knicks, with 0.3 left. Holiday just chucks up a 3 from about 10 feet behind the 3-point line, and they've called a foul on Brunson. Now, it wasn't even there. It just wasn't. Like, you can be whatever sort of supporter in the NBA. If you are looking at that objectively, it is just not a foul. So, yeah, that is the major issue with the league, I think. Not enough accountability. And results like that should not, like, you shouldn't ruin a good game of basketball, like, with that sort of ineptitude. There's no place for it in the game. Pritchard for 3 on the catch. is off. Oh my god, you fucking flop, Cornet. I reckon that was the lightest shove, but because Cornet hit the deck, let's have a look. Oh, that is soft. I mean, his arm was in his back, but barely an extension. He just felt the contact and just fell over, really. So White. Now the switch. Dayron is manning the middle. He contests that one well, and it forced a very short miss. Smith out to Walker, who drives. He's been feeling it early. Bridges for three. That's an open look, and he is absolute money on the catch and shoot threes recently. As we mentioned earlier, he's taking 10 a game in his last 10, and he's converting 41% of the threes. Well defended. Brown was blitzed and had to kick it back out to Brissett. He's going to get it back, and he's got Sharp on him on the outside. Walker reads the pass. Bridges in transition. The Euro, the reverse. He blew the layup. Dayron blew the putback, and Bridges wanted the foul. Doesn't get it. And in transition, it's a 3-on-2. Brissett under the basket. Pritchard in the corner for three. Yes. And JV is actually livid. He's livid. And who was the person in chat that just said for JV to be a bit irate? Let's have a look. Oh my god, bro. How fucking blind are you? Oh my god. The referee, mate. You are in front of the fucking play and you cannot see a foul. Oh my god. I watched the replay and continue to be baffled with the way we are officiated. There is, every single game, there are calls that always go this way. I know Mikal is a bit of a serial offender in terms of missing layups, but bro, that one hits the arm right after he lets go of it. That is a foul every single day of the week. Every single day of the week. Always in transition as well. Those are points that we should have scored. Instead, they go up the other end, they hit a 3. 5-point swing instantly. The lead should be down to 1. Instead, it's up to 6, where we started this quarter. I just, like, I can't be asked with these fucking decisions half the time. And these are the decisions we got before. These are a few of the decisions we got before we had KD and Kyrie. Then we got the superstar calls going our way. And now we're back to square one. It's just like, it's the same thing every single game with these fucking referees. Just, oh my god. And there's no real way you can twist it. Like, he's been hit on the arm and they call Jack shit. It's just like, it's actually crazy. I think for the amount of time, like, I've supported this team, we probably have had the worst whistle in the league for some time. And a lot of people, obviously, supporters of, you know, small market teams would argue that they get worst officiated. But that is just like, oh my god. Like, there's just no way that you miss that call. He's been hit on the arm, bro. I understand you're human, but it's just consistent crap that Bridges doesn't get called for. Cam Thomas gets hit on the arm. They don't call it. You know, the Celtics are not getting a transition 3-point look. If we get the whistle, our defense would have been able to get back. They may have gotten an open 3, but it would have been in a different manner. Not a result of us not getting back. And they've got a fucking technical as well. What a fucking joke. Bastards. Seriously. It's so clear that there was a foul. Oh my god. Dayron lost the ball on the roll. It wasn't a pinpoint pass. And it's going to be Nets ball. So it looks like there's going to be subs made. Celtics up 7. Mikal is talking to the referee and he got teed up. He just said a couple things and then got teed up. Fucking softies, mate. Schroeder, the kick out to Walker, who shoots the three. He is feeling it. He has not missed. He's got 13 in the game. Mate, we are shooting 64% from three. The problem, the Celtics have attempted the same amount and only scored one less. They're shooting at 54%. Brown, oh my God. Isn't that funny? They called the foul there on Bridges, defending Brown, but when Brown defends Bridges the other end, nothing. Nothing. Oh, it's just like you cannot make this shit up. I'm going to watch the Lakers game to see Spencer play. I actually think I'm going to watch the game as well, just to get a vibe of how much better Spencer Dinwiddie will play simply by changing the jersey and the organization he's playing for. Brown bricks the second, the rebound by Sharp, and Schroeder will be able to bring this one forward. So Schroeder uses that Sharp screen. Sharp on the outside will hand it off to Bridges. The drive, the pump fake, the kick out to Dennis in the corner. Try to split defenders, but it never got to Day'Ron Sharp. So the elevator doors closed, and now the Celtics can score on the other end. Reset out to Brown, picked up by Smith Jr., the switch. He's got Walker on him now. He's going to try spin and lose Walker. He shoots and hits in the mid-range. You almost bank him in to score mid-ranges at a better rate than he does the free throws. Walker will drive. That was nearly a dodgy pass. Bridges the no-look to Dennis right in front of the bench. It's off. Day'Ron the putback 2 and +1. And I think Pritchard got underneath Day'Ron on that putback. And it will be another free throw coming up for Day'Ron Sharp. That'll be his second trip to the line. He has made already 1 and 1 count. And he'll get another look in again to get a second one to go. If you are enjoying the stream, of course, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Boston tomorrow night. Day'Ron converts again, so 2 and 1s mean he's got 6 points and he's also got 3 rebounds. So 43-39. Derek White picked up by Bridges on the perimeter. Day'Ron playing drop coverage. Means Horford will be open for the 3, but he drives instead. Day'Ron got the block, and they've called it a goaltend. And that is a very, very close call. Let's have a look. I would not be one bit surprised if this was clean. Let's have a look. Oh my God. Clearly not a goaltend. Oh my God, this is just a joke. Mate, every single game, Schroeder's forced into a pass. We'll get it back from Bridges. The handoff to Mikal now. 5 to shoot. He takes it in and shoots over White. And that is an incredibly tough make over the outstretched arm of Derek White. So the Celtics shooting 62%. The Nets remain in the game because they're also shooting above 50%. Brown is long on the 3. And we get the rebound. And we're going to push the pace now. It's Walker. The pass out to Bridges. Back to Lonnie Walker. Schroeder's open for 3. Gets the look. He's well short. And it's a foul on Day'Ron Sharp. He met White at the summit and was able to bowl him over. So 8:17 to play in the second quarter. It's been really eventful. So Day'Ron's going to go to the bench. Good minutes in his stint. Great stint, actually, to be honest. Stuff in the stat sheet in limited time. Lonnie Walker will check out. He has had a superb game as well. Cornette in for Brissett. And that'll, I believe, be the only change. So for the Nets, it's Bridges, Thomas back in, Claxton back in, Dennis Smith and Dennis Schroeder also are in. Bridges will pick up the foul as Horford was trying to cut to the basket on that roll action. It'll be inbounded from the side. So the Celtics haven't been able to shake us off so far this game. Finney Smith is back in, and I would hope this is coinciding with Tatum returning to the game as well. Brissett's actually back in. Cornet back to the bench, and literally stayed in for about 20 seconds. Brown, going to back down Finney Smith. I love that matchup. Shoots over Finney Smith and hits. Oh my God. Bro, who is boxing out Pritchard? He's done this before in a previous game, and he doesn't get the 2 to go. Of course, they've called another fucking foul. Mate, Claxton and whoever the hell is on Pritchard needed to be far more alert than that. That is an abysmal sort of defensive play. You could have avoided the Claxton foul if you could have just adequately boxed out Pritchard beforehand. So Boston are actually in the bonus, getting free throws at the 8-minute mark, and luckily it's Brissett shooting them and not a more high percentage free throw shooter. He misses the first. Holiday checks back into the game, and it'll be White checking out. So like-for-like replacement there. The Celtics with one more free throw here. It's going to be pretty tough going for the Nets for the rest of the first half. Got to remain disciplined on the defensive end, for sure. Brissett misses both, and it is knocked from Bridges to Claxton, and now Schroeder will bring it up. So the Celtics up 4. The Nets not punished for being in the bonus as of yet. Bridges will drive on Pritchard, get under the basket. The reverse, there is the foul, and finally he's actually going to get free throws. Finally. ESPN announces NBA analysis all be hating on the Nets, and that hate be trickling down to the refs. I don't even think it's hate of the Nets. It's just that we don't get recognized in the league purely because, well, we're not big market anymore, are we? Don't have those players that you can really market to the world. I don't know if Schroeder will have as good as a game as he did in his first game for us. Well, granted, I think 15 points and 12 assists off the bench is pretty hard to replicate for multiple games. But he's not been too awful. Bridges makes both, down to a 1-possession game, and it's going to be Brown who will bring it up on Bridges. So starting 5 for the Nets in, except Schroeder in place of Simmons. Brown the spin. Schroeder does well defensively, and surely Brown shuffled the pivot foot. Now Brown's going to get it back with Schroeder on him. Low base means that Brown is short, but he gets his own miss. The kick out to Tatum. It's an open look, and he hits that as well. Like, you just cannot make this up. How many times have they gotten offensive rebounds? It's unfunny. Schroeder out to Thomas. Will get by Pritchard. Pull up for 2. You knew he was long the minute he let that one fly. And now Brown in transition will drive. Gets rid of Finney Smith and scores for 2. And that is really assertive play by Boston. And it gets the lead back up to 7. So 50-43. Schroeder out to Bridges. Pass somewhat behind him. Schroeder doesn't shoot the 3. Shovels it to Claxton, and it went out of bounds. And that's happened a couple of times today, and I'm not liking that sort of play because, well, I mean, those passes have been saucy by Dennis Schroeder, but you got to acknowledge that those passes are going to be there by him. He's capable of making those. You got to be ready. So Holiday's going to switch, or use a switch. Brown now got Schroeder on him. Good rotation by Claxton. Why would you jump? I don't think he needed to do that because obviously Clax towers over Brown. So I mean, good help side defense, but just a bit dumb, really. So the Celtics make 2 free throws, and they've got a 7. Well, they've gone on a 7-0 run if they make both. Simmons back in for Schroeder. So 51 of 43. Brown with one more free throw. Hauser is in for Boston. Brown is short on the second, so they are letting us off the hook here with a few misses from the line. Bridges will drive, and the space opened up, but he was badly off on that mid-range. And now Tatum will bring it forward. He's got Ben on him. And this should have been the matchup from minute 1, but we can't be switching this. Tatum is going to drive on Thomas and pull up for 2. You cannot have Cam Thomas guarding Tatum. It's that simple. It's that simple. He's smaller and he's just not as good a defender. Bridges easy too. The space opened up there. Early offense. Gets it down to 8. But I will continue to say, do not switch. They will keep doing this, man. Tatum airballs a 3. And it's going the other way. And Tatum wanted a foul. Complaining that he wouldn't have missed that badly if he wasn't hit. So the Nets with the ball in their possession. Simmons will pass to Thomas on the outside, and now the screen arrives. Thomas, switch, got Hauser on him, gets into the paint, the kick out. There's a foul with 4 seconds to play. The clock will reset. It may have actually been a defensive 3-second call. I don't think it is, though, because the clock's reset. So, 5:11 to play. Second quarter, 53-45 the score. Ben gets it from the inbounds. Someone needs to come collect it. Ben's going to back down Tatum, take it in and shoot and miss, and Holiday was able to save. So Ben's just, he keeps shooting these pathetic hook shots which just aren't going to work on taller players because he's running away from the basket. Finney-Smith blocked and was able to knock it to a net. Finney-Smith will drive. Dunk. Nope. Layup was not completed, but there's going to be a foul. So 2 free throws and Finney-Smith directly turning defense into offense. The block, the save, and then able to run in transition with the team as a trailer and get a look. A good look. And get the free throws, exploiting the smaller matchup. Sitting in the paint, just try to tower over the top. So 53-46 as Doe makes the first. And he's got 1 free throw here to cut it down a little bit further. So Finney-Smith is short on the second and the board by Tatum. So Nets aren't shooting free throws particularly well, primarily because Thomas and Bridges have not gotten there. And it's been all the players you don't want shooting him. Hauser on the outside. Tatum going to get into the paint. Just completely got rid of Bridges there. I don't think that was legal. Horford was fouled. Where the fuck was the foul, bro? Before. He's just completely discarded the defender. And I'm pretty sure that's just not legal. The foul was there undisputed after, which went the way of Horford, which will mean he's shooting free throws. But before then. So it looks like Lonnie Walker's getting ready to return into the game. Horford makes the first free throw there. And it's back to 8. So to the bench, I'm not too sure who's actually just gone there. I have to make a quick observation here. So it's Finney-Smith off and Walker in. Horford makes both. So Boston lead by 9. And the Nets need to get a few buckets late here. That is just sad. They're fucking fouling Ben Simmons. And so Ben is going to have to take these free throws. They're going to play Hacker Simmons. We've got 2 guys on the court who cannot shoot free throws for their life. So, I mean, this is a smart ploy by Boston. It's just real sad. Simmons at the line's going to need to make the free throws. If he can't, this lead is going to really go up very, very quickly. We are shooting 33% from the free throw line, I think. No, I think that's just Ben on the season. So Ben missed the first. The second lined up now is good, and he gets it down to 8. Got to get these stops. You have to be aggressive on the ball. You cannot live for a switch, which we live for. And bro, I cannot believe we keep switching this Tatum matchup. Every single time they drag Cam Thomas across because he's defending Sam Hauser, they do that switch. We're happy with it. Walker rims out on the 3 and a board by Horford. They will push the pace here. And it's White into the paint. Claxton, the swat. And it's going to be Boston ball. It's out of play. But, I mean, time and time again, we're not seeing the adjustment. Every single play involving Cam Thomas on defense is just like, it's killing us. It's killing us. White, kick it out to Holiday, the drive, and that's an open look for Tatum. Ben came over with the help. We're very lucky Tatum missed that because he was scorching before that three-pointer. Ben will drive. We're playing zone, so Claxton down the middle, scores for 2, wanted the whistle. That's the center play we need when the zone's going to be employed by the opposition. You've got to get in the middle. So Tatum on the outside. They are going to do this switch bull crap again. Ben is fouled again by... Or Tatum is fouled again by Ben. And it's just a stupid foul to concede, man. Horford can shoot threes, so Claxton can't really afford to just sit under the basket and help Cam Thomas with that Tatum assignment. Tatum makes the first. He gets it back up to 9. So Cam really hasn't scored. He hasn't defended too well, and I think it's more because he's been in the wrong position to play defense. We just have not helped him out one bit, and we've been far too comfortable in wanting to switch. It just doesn't make sense for me. And they're going to keep fouling Ben Simmons, bro. This is just ridiculous. Tatum's got 25 of their points as well. Ben's got to be prepared to make these free throws, man, because if he doesn't, as I said, this lead's just going to get up. And he doesn't even get any lift on that free throw. I don't understand how someone so tall can't get the free throws high enough. So Ben off on the first, and the second is good, much like the previous trip to the line. So 59-50, got to get a stop. Tatum is 25, so bro. Oh, you got to be kidding me, bro. That is just not a foul. It's just not a foul. I mean, both of them are locked up. That's just not a foul, bro. How much time, or how many times does that happen in a game where you have a lockup between two players trying to fight through the contact? It's just like that consistently happens. That consistently happens, and well, Ben's going to go to the bench because they just can't continue to afford this business where Ben keeps getting fouled. Getting hacked, should I say. So, Boston at the free throw line to shoot a couple. It's Jayson Tatum again. No fucking surprises. He's converted both, and he's now got 27 in the entire ball game. Oh my god, and they're fouling Claxton now. It's just so depressing that they keep doing this shit. But you know what? I actually don't know why other teams don't do this more. Why don't teams do this more? So Clax at the line's got to make his free throws, man. He missed, I believe, both on his first trip. And he makes the first here. So Finney Smith is going to check back in. Schroeder came on for Ben Simmons. Finney Smith will check in for I don't know who. So Clax makes his first free throw of the night. So it's... I don't know who's gone to the bench, to be honest. Second is good. So Claxton needs to do that. Needs to do a lot more of that. You're going to get that trip to the free throw line. You don't practice all those free throws for nothing. Holiday picked up by Schroeder. Gets into the paint. Pass knocked away. It's going to be... not Nets ball. It's going to be Boston ball after the timeout. They're going to call one. We haven't had an overly high amount of timeouts. We haven't had really... we didn't have many free throws until probably the last 6 minutes of this game. All right. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like, show your support, and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets Boston tomorrow. I believe at the exact same time. So we'll be here for that one. It'll be the final game before the All-Star break, of course. This game hasn't been too bad by this team. You can just clearly see, though, that if Jayson Tatum's going to score 27.5, best believe Boston are going to lead. They are shooting quite well from the field and three, but they haven't taken too many threes. Not many turnovers. Free throws, they've been there quite a bit because they've been in the bonus for, the final 8 minutes of this second quarter. Mikal Bridges is leading the way for the Nets with 14. He's been pretty rock solid. The Nets are shooting 64% from the free throw line, which is actually a better mark than I thought because Clax and Ben have taken 8 free throws between them. Clax has got 6. The starters really just haven't gotten enough at all. 2 points for Cam Thomas. Finney Smith has taken 1 shot. Clax has only scored 6, and he's got, Horford as the man in the middle to deal with. It's really been the bench who's been a lot better in that scoring department. The efficiency is just through the roof. Overall, we're shooting the ball well. Scored the same amount of 3-pointers, and from the field, we've attempted 5 less and made 4 less. Only the 3 turnovers. So we've done a lot of things right. It's just the free throws, probably been a little bit undisciplined. Boston have been fouling us, but they've been fouling our shit free throw shooters. With us, we've sent Tatum to the line a bit, Brown as well. So, the defense is the number one thing that has been our Achilles heel in this opening half. And that's been something we've prided ourselves on. In a recent run of games, in the last 10 or 15 games, we've been a far better defensive team than we have been offensively. And in a game like this, where you depend on defense, I don't think it's it's not overly great that you've conceded 61 points to this point in the half. That being said, do I think Tatum's going to score another 27, 30 points in the second half? Well, I don't think so, but we've got to treat Jayson Tatum far differently than what we have been. It's just been consistently one-on-one defending, and we've constantly switched a terrible matchup onto Tatum. So it's just been bread and butter, basically the entire quarter. So they get it into Luke Cornett, and our Tatum up top will give it to Holiday. They're going to look for Brown in the post. That shot wasn't on offer, so Holiday just scores over the top of Walker. And that's not even bad defense. That is just down to the Celtics making shots like every single team does at the Barclays Center. Every good team always plays well here. Always. There's very rarely any exceptions. Walker out to Schroeder. That was a dodgy pass. Schroeder, the cross, loses the defender, but he was short on the 3 and the board for Tatum, and now Brown. Pass to the corner for Holiday. That is an air ball. It was that bad, it was a pass to Cornett. And now Tatum, please don't switch that. Holiday, the 2 is good. We do not deserve to be down by 14 points, bro. We just don't deserve it, man. Claxton faked the handoff, tried to shuffle Cornett and missed the 2. And Brown runs in transition, the kick out to Holiday. The swing pass was, well, going to go to White, but it looks like Holiday stood on the sideline, so a reprieve there. It's actually baffling, though, how our centers are not able to, like, shoot off the backboard, off the glass well. They never, ever get to that really good spot under the basket. They're always half not facing the basket, and that's why a lot of those shots rim out. Bridges off, Cam Thomas back in, Schroeder will drive, the bounce pass to Claxton. I don't know why it bounced like that, but it was a turnover, and Tatum down the middle is going to be fouled. No. I don't know. You got a whistle. 2 shots, and we trail by, well, we're going to trail by 16. I'm already resigned to the fact that Tatum's going to score these 2 free throws. I really don't think we have played that badly. I don't think the scoreline's an indictment of how we've played. We've looked after the ball. We've shot the ball well. It's just the defense and the fact that Tatum has been absolutely ridiculously good in a mixture with us defending him quite poorly. Like seriously, how have we just allowed Tatum to score this many points with this much ease? I mean, sometimes he struggles to hit 30 points in a game, and we've let him score 30 and a half. Another Boston run doubles their lead. This one's a 7-0 run. It's Schroeder to Walker. Now to Finney-Smith. Like, what is Thomas doing sitting in the corner, bro? Here he is. He's going to get inside and lose the ball. Tatum another 2 points. Oh my god. It's just been turnover after turnover in the last couple of minutes. And the lead's just ballooned. Who do you support in the AFL? The Blues. Alright. Box score check. And, well, it's fair to say that the turnovers have started to pile up a little bit recently. And the bench have really been the culprits for that. Cam Thomas taking 4 shots, bro. Like, what are we doing with that? I understand we've had some good contributions off the bench, but you can't, like, you can sit him in the corner, but you've got to find him. The amount of times we've just not looked for that pass is sort of crazy. Far better than Clax, far more efficient. The only thing is the drop coverage he plays, but right now we're basically turnstiles on defense. Tatum's got 31 points. He's taken 16 of their shots. They've played through him, and it makes sense to, because he's found everything easy. There's just been no pressure on what he's doing. Like, there actually hasn't been enough of a conscious effort to make the adjustment to stop Tatum getting as many open looks. It's just like, how can you keep doing the same shit over and over again? It's crazy. Crazy, dude. So they're running with this unit of Schroeder, Walker, Finney-Smith, Claxton, and Thomas. No Mikal to close the half. Oh my god, that was a crazy sort of lob. A very audacious play out of the timeout. Tatum to Holiday. It's a 5-on-4 because Walker is completely out of the play. The Celtics have gone on an 11-0 run in the last 2 minutes with Cornet as their center. So the Nets offense has hit a lull. And, well, yeah, this is the result. Down 20 when I don't even think we've remotely deserved to be down this much. Thomas, the drive, that's a foul, and he's going to get 2 shots. So I don't think he's been that assertive when he does have the basketball. Like, he has not looked to go vertical with the defender. It's been a lot of pull-up twos. A lot of pull-up twos and not really testing. Not really testing at all. That interior presence that they do or don't have. Like, Cornet is not a needle mover defensively. we've got to be using screens more effectively here. Like, try get Cornet as a matchup on the outside so you can exploit and drive it. So Brown gonna shoot a 3 and execute the 2 for 1. It's off. Finney Smith with the board, and we're going to slow this one down and hopefully use the full extent of this clock. Schroeder is picked up by White. The screen by Claxton. Schroeder bounce pass to Walker. And Thomas on the outside. He's going to have to shoot something. He shoots a step back 3, and it's good. That's an incredibly tough make. And we've got to defend this, please. Don't allow a 3. Oh my god, what a move. And he's luckily airballed it, Jayson Tatum. Or hit the rim. Hit the backboard, should I say. Not the rim. That's the half. It's a 15-point game. So we score 5 late points to get it down to 15. But the Celtics were overwhelmingly positive in that quarter. They scored another 36 points. And the Nets, well, they limped to their total. I say they limped. 57 points isn't awful, but the defense has just been awful, and it's been a cakewalk for Boston. Primarily because they've gotten what they want. They've gotten 17 shots from Jayson Tatum in the first half, and no one else has taken more than 10. And then after that, no one else has taken more than 6. So Tatum has taken a third of their shots. And this is why they shoot as well as they are. This is why they've got as many free throws as they do have. And Tatum has not committed a turnover either. They've only committed 3 in total. So there has not been enough of an effort to stop this team. And what I mean is, if you stop Tatum, then you give yourself the best chance of winning the game. Because Tatum is already probably set to go for about 40, 45. You cannot allow him to get more than that. Challenge your Horfords, your Holidays, your Whites to actually win the game off their shot instead of just allowing Tatum to do what he's been doing with ease. I mean, constantly, consistently, they have drawn Cam Thomas's assignment to Tatum, or asked him to go over there, so Cam Thomas has to follow. And then we're far too easy. We're far too compliant in terms of switching. Cam Thomas has found himself on Tatum numerous times. Not once have we actually tried to fight over the screen. Ben Simmons is a decent defender. I think he can get over the screen. I don't know why we've been not nearly aggressive enough in terms of trying to remain on Tatum, because he's just had way too much space. And if there hasn't been space, he's had more height over his assignment. So I think that's the main extraction for me out of the first half. Cam Thomas needs to have more involvement, because we just cannot have this. We cannot have only 2 players in double figures, and we cannot have... Well, we can't have this sort of output. Not at all. Turnovers only at 5. We're actually shooting better from 3 than they are. I think we've actually been to the free throw line the same amount as they have. It's just the field goal percentage is absolutely through the roof. They've taken 7 more shots and made 7 more shots. So they're in front off the back of having more looks. And, well, they've had 5 extra rebounds and they've had a couple less turnovers, so that helps. Well, look, I need Claxton to deliver in the second half, man. He's got Luke Cornett and Horford to deal with. We have not been giving him nearly enough touches. He has had a couple of cuts which haven't really gone for much, but he's just got to demand the ball in the second half. I think that's going to be pretty key. I don't really know how many paint points we have. Can't imagine it would be too many in comparison to them. I will get that look. Um, it's actually pretty embarrassing though that the Celtics are treating us like we're a top 3 team, like fouling our weak links and getting them to the free throw line. Um, have a look. Hang on. So here we go. So the Celtics, 32 points in the paint to Boston to our 22. Boston have had 12 fast break points to 6. We've both had 5 second chance points each. Dayron needs to get minutes. If Clax isn't going to be assertive enough, you need to hold their center rotation accountable, because that is probably the one bit of leverage we had before the game going in. You probably could have said, well, we maybe can get the ascendancy purely because of our center rotation, but Dayron in 6 minutes has had more impact than Claxton has in about 15. So if Clax isn't going to be the needle mover, you've got to have Dayron in there to at least try rebound the ball, recycle some of our misses. The drop coverage is what it is, but really you need Finney-Smith or Ben to just try fight over those screens, man. And look, it can't get too much worse than what it is right now. I mean, Tatum scored 31 points. He could prove me wrong and actually score more in the second half, but look, the way Dayron plays drop coverage, I don't think it's going to really impact. It starts with denying him the ball. If you can deny him the ball, then the whole complexity of the game changes, because they're going to have to play through someone else, which is what they have not done all day. Whether that player will be up to the task, that remains to be seen. Alrighty. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back tomorrow for Nets Boston, so make sure to tune in for that one. Should be a pretty interesting sort of game. I mean, Boston always boss us, and it just gets a bit exhausting after a while. Like, how does Tatum play this good? Like, I guarantee you Tatum has not scored at this efficiency for quite some time. I can guarantee you right now. And I'm just going to have a look and see what his... I'm just going to see what his output has been. In recent time. Of course, it booted me out. So, okay. So he scored 26 against Miami, 35 against Washington, 20 against Atlanta, 34 against Memphis. Here's the issue, right? So in all of those games bar one, he shot over 50% from the field. Though he only had one game where he shot above 50% from 3. Here's the thing though. In those previous 4 games where he scored, well, no more than 35, he's only taken 22 shots per game. And he's only had one game where he's had 9 free throws or more. Now, right now, he's only had one game where he's had more than 4 free throws. Right now, he sits in the ballpark of eclipsing those things very easily. He's already got 17 shots in a half and he's got 7 free throws. So he's already eclipsing the output he's had in previous games. I don't want to hear a bar of, like, what the players have been doing. I don't think they've been positioned. I don't think there's been, like, enough done on the coaching end to try deny that guy the basketball and make adjustments. It's just been too predictable. The same thing continuously occurring. That's the real issue I have. Joe Mazzulla is a clown bringing out the hack strategy in the second quarter of a game. The league should do something about this for real. I mean, the fourth quarter is understandable, but the second quarter is like, come on. Well, I mean, they've got the opportunity. Like, they can do that. They can do that. I mean, yes, it is a scummy sort of move. And look, I mean, it's, you know what I sort of like about it? I like that if they're going to do that, it's going to challenge Simmons and Claxton to work even harder in the lab to get that free throw refined. Because that free throw, the whole concept of a free throw, I mean, it's so important. It is free, and, by that definition, the Celtics are literally giving it to us for free. And you've got to take that opportunity every chance you get. Now, these guys, if they know that they're going to get fouled intentionally, which I'm sure they already know, they need to be working even harder in the lab to get that free throw fixed up. So, look, second half, I mean, what do I want to see? Probably more attack on the basket. Really just feeding into the potential deficiency that they will have in terms of what they've got with their center rotation. It's Cornet and it's Al Horford. That's it. Why we have only settled for 22 paint points, why Cam Thomas has only taken 5 shots and not had more free throws, don't understand. The starters have been cooked. The bench actually hasn't been that bad. Even though they've been outscored, they haven't been awful. Overall, we've shot the ball decently. We've been to the free throw line a fair bit, and we're actually making free throws at a pretty acceptable percentage. Given we've had half of those from Ben and Claxton. But the thing is, like, we need more. We need more from our centers. We need more from the starters. I mean, there's been a lot of versatility with this lineup today. I mean, Walker's played 13 minutes. Schroeder's played 14. Cam Thomas has played 13. Clax has played 14. So we've got, if you include Dennis in that, basically 1, 2, 3, basically 8 players who have played 9 or more minutes. So, it's going to be really interesting to see what rotation is rolled out in the second half, because quite frankly, I don't think we've found what's worked in this game yet. And it's all on the defensive side. That is where the game's going to be won. How well can you defend the Celtics team? And more specifically, how well can you defend Jayson Tatum in the second half? If he doesn't score 31 points, well, obviously we're going to be in the game, but we also need to make sure that we block out the other outlets that isn't named Jayson Tatum. And I already know what's going to happen. We're going to double Jayson Tatum, and open shots are going to be everywhere on the court, because that's what JV does, and that's what he'll back up in the postgame. He'll say something like, oh, Jayson Tatum was just too good, difficult to guard. We had to blitz him. We had to find ways to disrupt him, and as a result, it allowed other open shooters on the court. He's going to say something like that. I can see it from a mile away. I'm happy to be mistaken. That'll be his adjustment. If there is any adjustment by JV, that'll be it. They would have spent a full 15 to 20 minutes in the locker room talking about that. Which is infuriating, because I would personally use the time a little bit more productively, but we can't be productive. They're never going to improve. It's been years. You don't see nothing wrong with it, though. Well, granted, Claxton's sort of improved. Sort of. He's had lulls in his free throw shooting this year, but there have been phases where he's been pretty strong. Ben's just a different story, but, if they can make 3 of their 4, 6 of their 8, that's the sort of thing I'm looking at. 5 of 8 even. I'm not looking for them to make all of them. I just don't want them to like split the pair every single time they go to the line. With Ben, it is literally like it is the most overused cliche with Ben, but it is all up here. It's all in the mindset. Like every single time, he is a 6'10" bulldozer. If he wanted to go full attack mode and go downhill and just be as ferocious and authoritative as possible, he could do that. He's got the build for it. He just doesn't have the confidence in himself. Instead, he'll shy away from it a little bit. He won't want to bump bodies. He'll actually run away from the basket and try to shoot some bullshit over his shoulder. Purely because he just doesn't have the confidence to go up vertically against anyone, really. Yeah. Do I think he'll ever get back to where he was? I don't think so, but he can definitely, like, push on that a little bit. I think he could find a little bit of something, but yeah, I don't know. The Celtics are going to resume with it now. We have started the second half, and the Nets are going to need to start this second half on a high. Slice this lead in half and give themselves a good chance of winning the game. Tatum on the outside. The pass to Holiday. The 3 over Simmons is good. That's a fucking excellent start, isn't it? And what did I see? We instantly switched. Instantly switched. Don't fucking know why. Thomas has an open 2. That's a foul. Where the fuck was the foul call? Horford jumping into the landing room. They didn't call shit. So the adjustment is Claxton guarding Tatum, but we still switch, and Tatum hits back on the 3, luckily, and the rebound for the Nets. Simmons, Claxton to the corner for Thomas, shoots the 3, no hesitation, and he knocks it down. So Thomas off to a bright start in the second half. He's already scored 5. He only had 7 in the entire first half. Thomas guarding Holiday. Holiday lost the ball, and Finney-Smith with the board, or the steal, should I say. Thomas now will be guarded by Derek White and try to cook on him. Gets into the paint. Runner is off, gets his own miss. Finney-Smith is open for 3, and he hits back on, but Ben gets the board. Thomas gets to his spot in the mid-range. That was open and off. Oh my god. Only we could get 3 offensive rebounds and not actually make it count. Every time we give away an offensive board, you can already bank on the opposition hitting a 3. So the Celtics up 13. Brown in the mid-range is going to be hit with a push-off. And Mikal's going to get his way this time. So a couple of turnovers for Boston in the early going, and they did a really good job of looking after it in the first half. So maybe a reason for optimism. Good cut by Finney-Smith. There was a foul on Holiday, and that was a bit of a phantom call. I don't think the foul was there, but we take those, I guess. And the Nets will have another crack at it with 14 to shoot. And 10-12 left in the third quarter. It'll be Bridges inbounding the ball on the side. And I assume he'll look for Ben off the inbounds. Bridges. Thought about the 3, went behind the back and just lost the ball. Why is he trying to do that stupid bullshit? Give it to Ben Simmons, bro. Tatum. Out to Horford to the corner for White. The switch. Bounce pass to Holiday. Brown in the corner for 3. He has not hit a 3 until now. Thomas. There's a foul. What the hell, man? He hit the 3. He banked it in. I thought it was a foul because it was. And they've chalked it off. Second time today, they've chalked off a bucket Oh my god. Fucking infuriating, that shit. Even though that was the right call, like, Finney Smith has gone to the bench. Wilson's getting run early on in this second half, who only played 2 minutes in that first half. Bridges gets by. Reverse, scores, and he didn't get another call. He's just not going to get the call, is he? Brown, the switch, tries to weave through. Kick out to Horford. Tatum's open top of the key. Simmons did well there to not give away a foul. Loopy pass to Brown. Oh my god. What a bailout of a foul again by Cam Thomas, bro. Whoops. So Finney Smith out for Wilson. Thomas remains in. 9:02 to play in this second half. Or third quarter, should I say. Holiday is going to look for Brown again because Thomas is guarding him. And Thomas has picked up 2 fouls in about 10 seconds. Just have not been disciplined enough on this end of the ball. Far too many easy fouls. And, well, they're going to keep feeding whoever the hell Cam Thomas is guarding in the low block. Every single time. Horford is ready to fire. He hits the 3 as well. Every single time they make the 3. It's fucking ridiculous. Thomas. There's a foul. If they're going to call him up one end, you have to call him the other way. So Thomas draws that one, but it will be a foul on, or it will be triggered in from the side. Bridges. He's going to look for Cam Thomas. He gets it. Wilson was open in the corner. Takes it in. Shoots with the right hand and was off. Miscued. And now the Celtics will break out in transition. That's a great play, but a block by Claxton. We're going to move it. Celtics have the numbers back. There's just not enough play around the basket. Wilson was open. Thomas was contested, but still hit the shot. And I reckon they're going to chalk it off when they check it back, because his foot was on the line. On the sideline, I mean. Brown will shoot a mid-range, and he is miscued it to the right. And now the Nets can slice into this lead a little bit more. Ben, going to take it in on Horford. Shoot off the window. Does not get the angle, but Wilson, it was tapped to him fortuitously. Ben to Bridges, mid-range, is good. It's down to a dozen. Got to knuckle down. Got to knuckle down. Got to make things as difficult as possible. Tatum here. Why would you go under the screen? Tatum is off. The board by Ben. And now Mikal Bridges. No fucking shot! Why would you do that? Oh my god, they've committed an over and back. It's just so fucking stupid why Mikal would pass it. Oh my god, that is the most brain-dead turnover I've ever seen in my life. Oh my god, that is so easily preventable. Holiday. Pass to Horford, it went off hands, and another turnover. Mikal. Spin. Out to Thomas. But yet we weren't able to do anything on the break. Thomas is feeling it, and he misses the 3. Ben tried to back tap it to one of the Nets, but Mikal was too far back. And he had to commit the foul on Tatum to stop the break from occurring. So 6:49 to play in this third quarter. The Nets, man, they've just... a couple sequences they've been able to chop in, or they've had further opportunity to chop into the deficit, but just a couple of, well, bits of poor shot selection and turnover. That turnover just was fucking stupid. I mean, that is just fundamentals and something that I don't even think a 6-year-old would be guilty of making. I've noticed we do those passes way too often where we probably could have been hit with an over and back multiple times where Mikal lets the pass go way too early before the guy's passing to hasn't even exceeded the halfway line, man. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus Celtics tomorrow. Let me know if you are enjoying the stream as well. That's, of course, really important to me. So let me know in the chat if you are enjoying the streams as usual. And yeah, happy to have you guys here in the chat. Let me know what your favorite part about the stream is, what keeps you coming back to the stream if you're a regular. Those are all really important bits of feedback which I can use going forward in terms of what I keep, what I get rid of for the next season, really. Excuse me. So 81 to 69. And we've really made no inroads. We've had an opportunity to, but I swear this team finds a way to disappoint every single time with some stupid decision-making. Mikal is top scoring with 18. Good efficiencies. And Cam Thomas has got 15. He scored 8 in the quarter. Interesting that, you know, Jacques Vaughn has gone with... yeah, interesting that it's been the decision by JV to play Jalen Wilson very early on in the second half over Finney Smith. So this game isn't over yet. We're really going to have to do something special, though. We're going to have to play flawless team basketball, not turn it over, make a crap ton of our shots, and really not let the occasion get to us. We play this team tomorrow as well, so the mistakes of today are going to be fresh going into tomorrow. And equally, if Boston choke this game, that's going to be fresh in their mind as well. Tatum on the outside, picked up by Simmons. The switch. Claxton now guarding him on the outside. That's a good switch. But, of course, they target that Thomas switch every single time. The numbers collapse. White's open. It's an easy three. And how many times have I said this? That we are going to overcommit and open looks are just going to free themselves up everywhere on the court. Wilson, the drive. Had an open two. Gave it to Bridges and missed the three. Claxton, the offensive board, is able to flip it back up and in. And as suspected before, they chalked off the three-pointer by Cam Thomas. And thus, that actually cut the lead to 16. Not what it would have been, which was 13. That's too easy. Had an easy steal on offer, and instead you can't rake it in. Easy two for Boston. It's crazy how they don't have Porzingis, yet are still dominating us. Because the scheme against really good teams are just rubbish. The defensive schemes. Ben, the handoff to Thomas. Gets by Horford. The reverse is, well, I mean, standard stuff for Cam Thomas. I mean, defensively, I keep saying it, the defense has got to lift. We've actually only allowed 14 points in the quarter, which actually is a pretty good mark for us in this game. Brown, oh my God. Cam Thomas, you fucking idiot. What a bailout. That's his third foul he's committed in the quarter. So, free throws for Boston in the bonus. What a terrible fucking foul to commit as well. Brown makes number one. It's up to 17. Dennis times 2 check in. Ben to the bench. Bridges also off. White will head out for Boston. Hauser checks in. Where's Dayron, man? We need I would like some high energy minutes from Sharp here. Second is good. It's an 18-point lead. And it'll be Schroeder who brings it up. Claxton. Back to Thomas. Into the paint. And Luke Cornett, that is tough. You're never really going to score over him, it feels. Brown is going to try cook on Claxton. He nearly lost the handle. Good defense. Great defense, in fact. And Tatum's going to have to deal with this. The switch. Wilson guarding Tatum now. And he's sort of capable of this. But Tatum is just making rainbow threes like it's nothing. And you can't do nothing about it. It's just a fucking joke how ridiculous that is. So the lead's up to 21. I think that's the largest of the game. The lob was never on offer. And the Celtics are going to easily score in transition. Like, it's actually crazy the amount of times that happens. Claxton is down sore. He's gotten back up. It's actually crazy how good they are at running in transition. They highlight the turnover immediately. And you've got no one really holding Tatum to account. He actually had not scored until probably the last 40 seconds. Because he had 31 at the half. He's now got 36 with 2 quick buckets in this quarter. Let's have a look. Nets have no talent or stars now. Coach is a joke. Well, I can agree with the coach. I mean, how does he allow Tatum to score 31 as easily as he did in the first half? I just got here, but I do enjoy the streams overall. I like your delivery of the game, the way you call it, and the way you mention stats throughout the game. Well, that's important, of course. It's important, you know, because I can't check the box score every day of the week. Only suggestion would be either a small green screen to make it look like you're in the arena, or add like little noise clips of announcers going crazy when someone hits a three. That could be an interesting addition. That actually isn't a bad idea. But I feel like, well, I need a soundboard to do that. And I don't have a soundboard, so maybe that's something down the line. He doesn't clean up our weaknesses and our team is a joke, no talent. Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like, this is stock standard basketball by JV. I mean, we have to highlight that Boston are the best team in the league for a reason, record-wise. They aren't unbeatable. Yeah. They aren't unbeatable, but we just haven't... I don't think haven't really got it right. Like, you need Cam Thomas to play well for you to win, but the problem is Cam Thomas is getting killed on defense. The switch defense just doesn't work with a good team. Especially if you're playing a bullshit like if it's as simple for the opposition as having Cam Thomas, you know, have to switch on Tatum. Like, you've got to understand when the time is right. There's got to be work done to just ensure that Cam Thomas has no part of the switch defense. This game is pretty out of hand. I mean, Boston have really not looked like they've kicked up a sweat, to be honest. Even with Porzingis out. I think that just shows how good their team is. Crazy good. So Schroeder, Thomas, Wilson, Dennis Smith, Day'Ron Sharp. And I thought I was G'd up for this game as well, too. I mean, it'd be stupid actually thinking that we're gonna actually exploit the advantages we have. We just got to steal. Cam Thomas is gonna pull up for 3, and we miss. Dennis got fouled on the putback dunk. I'm pretty sure Jalen Wilson hit Dennis's arm. And you know what? I'm pretty sure this happened in the previous game. I'm actually pretty sure this happened in the previous game that we played against Boston. This exact incident where we actually fouled our own man. I'm pretty sure Wilson hit Dennis's arm on that putback, and they've called a foul. That's the one they call. Of course, that's the one they call. And the worst part is, I don't think it's going to be our ball. Cam Thomas should not have pulled up for three when we got that steal. We had the numbers. It should have been an instant sort of it should have been an instant sort of like drive, and we had the numbers running in transition, trailing. Yeah. It's funny how this team, like, if you go on Nets Twitter, it is fucking fascinating to see this team shift, or people shift from, oh, this team's so good, everyone's so good. Of course it's Boston ball as well. It's just a bit fucking annoying. So we just completely fluffed a fast break possession, which should be easy stuff. What was I gonna say? Like, everyone thinks like, oh, last game we're the best team in the league. This game we're the worst team in the world. Bro, we're playing Boston and we played the Spurs last game. It's the definition of mid. When you blow out a shit team and you get blown out by a good team, that is the definition of mid. Not good enough to compete with the best, and not bad enough to lose to the worst, even though we've done that time and time again this year. Schroeder, that's a good driving kick. Wilson has hit 2 threes very quickly, and he's actually making threes at an absurdly good clip. Like, I think he's shooting like 54% this season in the NBA from 3. Tatum in a switch with Thomas guarding. Yet again, the same thing. He's going to pull up for 3, and he's going to convert. Here we go. Good defense. Force the pass. 2 to shoot. Hauser's going to have to shoot 1 on the move, and he misses. Get the board. Oh my God, bro. Day'Ron Sharpe, grab the ball with your 2 hands. 2 players under the basket. I don't know why Day'Ron can't just box out and let the smaller guard get the rebound. Make the selfless team play. Don't try to do it all yourself. Open 3 for Holiday off the inbounds. That's off, and Cornet gets another board. Holiday in the paint, that's an open 2, and he scores it. It's just like, you can't draw it up. No one is scoring that easily. 21-point lead to Boston. Walker. Driving kick. Schroeder's open top of the key. That 3 is very long. You knew it was misdirected, miscued the minute he shot it. Pritchard on the outside. They can crack the ton with another 3, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. Tatum has Schroeder on him. I don't know where DFS has been this whole game. Tatum doesn't get the bounce. Day'Ron with the rebound, and it'll be Lonnie Walker who brings it forward. Gonna pull up for 3. Foul, and it's going to be 3 shots. Pritchard was on the back shoulder, and he just had that marginal contact about him. And I mean, they can call another challenge if they would like, because they did win the previous challenge. That is the most phantom call I've ever seen. That is not a foul. But Walker will get 3 looks at it and get that first one to go. He would have won that challenge as well if he did challenge it. Joe Mazzulla. So Walker's second is off. If we could get it down to like 13 to 15 at 3/4 time, then potentially maybe we have a sniff, but it's a pretty tall order to have to come back from 20 down. So Walker makes 2 of 3, and the Nets trail by 19. So Tatum, switch, got Ben on him, shoots the 3, and he airballs that one as well. So, I mean, if you can keep forcing them to take those, then maybe you have a sniff, but got to make it count on this other side. Schroeder. Gonna drive. There's open space under the basket, and he was fouled. And Schroeder has not taken a free throw in the 7 quarters he's played as a net. But these will be his first 2 here. So Schroeder at the free throw line, cut it to 17 points. Why is it 77? No, now it's 78. There we go. So cuts that one. With that score, cuts it down to 18. One more free throw here. Can we make a couple baskets, get a couple of stops? They allow White to check in. All right, so Schroeder made the first. Second one lined up. Oh my God. Well done by Jalen Wilson, bro. So Schroeder fucked up the free throw, but Wilson simply, by harassing Tatum on the board and being a bit persistent, was able to give us another possession. Got to inbound it. Oh my God. Only the Nets can fluff that, man. Only the Nets, bro. It's fucking embarrassing that you can't inbound the ball. There's an offensive foul on Cornet. I don't even know what's happened there. I did see Schroeder fall to the floor. It was probably another phantom foul. And that's just another soft call. I'm not going to complain as much because, well, obviously we've won it, but how many times have we had opportunities here to cut into the deficit? Every single time, it's all been in vain. Simmons was definitely held. Schroeder was also hit. So, I don't know who's getting the free throws. Schroeder or Simmons, I'm not sure. Oh my God, it's Ben at the free throw line, for fuck's sake. So 97 to 79, 2 free throws here for Ben, and that you knew as soon as he shot it, every single time. You can tell in the first 0.1 seconds after the release whether it's going in or not. It's simply either lined up or it's not. Way too many free throws have gone to waste here. Wilson will go to the bench. I actually don't know why, because he's actually played some quality minutes when he's been on the court. So Ben he's made the second free throw every single time he's been to the line, and he does so again. So he's 3 of 6, and the lead's down to 17. But man, we've left a few points on the table, I will tell you that much. Richard, picked up by a Schroeder on the outside. Oh my God, bro. And Ben and Schroeder just stare down Luke Cornet as if to say, what a flop. Let's have a look. Oh my God. That is the biggest flop I've ever seen. This guy's like 7'1", and he falls over that easily. You cannot be actually telling me that's a foul. So they've sort of limped their way to 100 here. They haven't even hit 100, and they were on 97 about 3 minutes ago. So Ben's got his 4th personal, but I tell you what, half of the fouls he's committed have not been there. I mean, the referees have had some terrible decisions today both ways. Cornet misses the second. Can you get the board? Yes, you can. Schroeder collects, and we are in the final minute. So Schroeder will look to use the screen, wrap around for Bridges, gets into the paint. That's a foul, and it's going to be 2 more free throws, and the Celtics would be smart here after these free throws to execute the 2-for-1. So well done there by Mikal to wait and just use that patience to basically allow the contact to arrive. Bridges makes the first. It's down to 17. So all things considered, we actually haven't had an awful third quarter, to be honest. I mean, we've been outscored, but we've only been outscored by what, 2? It's been just a slow, interval process. In terms of how Boston have gotten their lead. It's just been very gradual how they've gotten their lead. So 16-point lead for Boston. It's been as high as about 21. Pritchard will give it to Tatum. He's got Dennis on him. He drives. The pass. Turnover. We got the numbers. Why would you look backwards? Why would you look backwards? You had the numbers, bro. Schroeder. Oh my God. We could have been far better than that. The minute that Walker passed the backwards to Schroeder, that just showed the intention. Schroeder nearly turns it over. We've got 4 to shoot. Walker's going to have to make something happen. Shake and bake. The 3 is off. And Tatum has got 4 seconds to bring it up and pull up. He gets through. The scoop is off. And there's no foul. That's 3/4 time. I'll tell you what. If we could have actually had a good possession at the end of the third, I would have given us a cheeky sniff because I think we actually have the momentum. I thought Boston were easily going to crack 100 at 3/4 time, but the last 3 to 4 minutes, things have been a little bit more sparse for them. So the Celtics only scored 26 third-quarter points, and that is, far below what they did in the first 2 quarters. And Tatum was limited in, to a certain extent, but the Nets still didn't score more points than them, so they didn't actually make any inroads. The Nets have gotten, hang on, let me refresh, and then we can actually do the full roundup. Excuse me. So Tatum's got 36. He only scored 5 in the quarter, so I guess it's a better concerted effort by the team to sort of stop that from happening. I actually need to upgrade the stat lines here for Dennis Schroeder, who's only scored the 7 points. We've got 15 from Walker off the bench. Day'Ron Sharpe really didn't play in that third quarter. Luke Cornett's on 5,000. He's played a fair portion of the game as well, so that may affect their rotation somewhat. Bridges, the high man, with 20. Cam Thomas with 14, and, he did have a 3-pointer chalked off as well. So, he's probably a little bit stiff to not have a few more points. Ben Simmons only the 3 points. He has not made a field goal, but he has had the 8 dimes. So, I guess there's a silver lining in that, almost. We're still shooting it not too bad from the field in 3. The free throw is just a little bit torrid, especially given, Claxton and Ben only combined for 2 free throws in that quarter. We really should have gotten a little bit more bang for our buck. And overall, Cam Thomas is 5 of 13. Cal 7 of 15. Jalen Wilson's been good. Day'Ron Sharpe's a +3. Dennis in 14 minutes is a +3. So the bench haven't been the issue. And Boston is still shooting above 50% from the field and 45% from 3. Jayson Tatum scoring 31.5 as first half has really given them what they've, sought after. And look, I think the 72 points that we shipped off in the first half, probably too much to come back from, but I'm happy to be mistaken in this last quarter. 16 points to make up after having not outscored them in any quarter. It's going to be a really tough ask. It's got to be really flawless from here. And we're going to start on the right note. It's Bridges for 3 stepping back. That is not the shot. You cannot 3-point shoot your way back into it. You can slowly get back into it with the most high percentage look. It's Wilson, Bridges, Thomas, Schroeder, Simmons playing the 5. Brown picked up by Bridges. Gets into the paint and shoots. It rims out. The board by Ben. And we haven't seen too many minutes of Ben at the 5. Bridges to Schroeder, who held the pivot foot down. He drives. Gets past Brissett. The lob. Ben with the tip in. And I don't think that was by design, but we got it to go. First 2 points of the last quarter going the way of the Nets. So it's down to 14. White on the perimeter, picked up by Thomas. The switch. They'll send it to the corner for Pritchard, who's got Schroeder on him. Decent defense there. Pass to Horford. Drive. Pass. Brown. Shot clock winding down. It's a deep 2. It misses. Oh my God, Cam Thomas, you fucking moron. Get the rebound. Thank you. Pritchard, another offensive board. That's going to be the death of me. Wilson to the corner for Mikal. Wilson was the cutter, but there was no pass on there. Schroeder on the outside. Going to test the waters with a 3 and miss. And that's going to be not Nets ball, but well done by Wilson at least to try get in pursuit of it. But the 3-pointers aren't going to do it. The 3s are just not simply going to do it. The only 2 points of the quarter have come on the interior. And the only two misses of the quarter have come from the perimeter. So pretty clear what the shot profile needs to be in order to win this game. Brown is going to back down Cam Thomas. That's been exploited all day. Derek White's wide open for 3. And he misses. Rebound by Schroeder. It's terrible defense, but I guess you can only deal with what you're dealing with. Mikal, bro, yes, he's just got to stop taking the fucking 3, bro. Pritchard definitely had his foot on the line, and Mikal did well to disrupt the handle. But Mikal has taken 2 threes in the quarter. It is not the shot you take. We could have actually been in single digits right now if we actually tested the interior. They don't even have a center on the floor right now. Well, they do. It's Horford, but you can exploit that. You can fully exploit that. Thomas inside. Layup is good. There you go. Simple. It's simple. I don't fucking understand why you have to complicate it and shoot 3s all the time. Unless they're absolutely on and they're incredibly high percentage, take it inside. Their interior presence is not really that strong. Pritchard to Horford. He's got Wilson on him. He faces up, then backs down. Brown under the basket, knocked away by Schroeder. And Brissett is fouled going up by Cam Thomas. That nearly was a steal by Dennis Schroeder. He knocked it away, and it just luckily deflected to Brissett. So we're doing the right things to get in an optimal position to potentially steal this game. But, you have to make those ones there. The 50-50 balls, they need to go your way. And you need to be very alert if the ball is in dispute. So 99-86. The Celtics up. And the Celtics, man, they were on 97 points for the longest time. They still haven't cracked the ton. And the Nets can trim into this deficit a little bit further if they can make a basket here. Simmons on the outside to Mikal Bridges. Gets into the paint. That bounce pass was just well and truly not on. You absolutely needed to pin the eye of a needle in order to get it to Ben Simmons there. Instead, it'll be knocked out of play, and it is Nets ball on the baseline, and we're actually going to get a timeout the way of Boston, I think. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new as well. We'll be back for Nets versus the Celtics tomorrow, where these teams will go at it again, this time in Boston, And hopefully the Nets get a dub there. I mean, this one is not done yet. By no means. The Celtics have sort of evened out a little bit in terms of their shooting percentages. It's now only just at 50%. And their 3-point percentage is also down. So Tatum only the 5 points. Brown isn't shooting efficiently. Holiday, White, and Horford have shot it very well, but they're not taking too many. So, and the turnovers have gone up. They had 2 at halftime. They've got 10 now. So, been a little bit more disruptive in the second half. Only allowed the 27 points to this stage of the second half, but we just haven't had the offense to really knuckle down and get back in the lead. It's been good defense. We've only scored the 29 points on offense, though, and our shooting percentages are well down. So we're going to need players like Bridges to not fall into a rut, even though that's exactly what he's done. Because he was shooting at like 7 of 12, 7 of 13. He's missed 3 or his last 4 shots. Turnovers at 10. I don't know. It's going to be a very iffy run home, I think, for this team. It can go one of 2 ways. You go flawless, or you just go the complete other way. And Boston will potentially just go on like an 8-0 run through Jayson Tatum. Purely him just pulling up for 3, making him because he's good at it. And really, it's just as clear cut as that. So, look, I hope that's not the case, of course. But I can definitely foresee it happening. Because of how often it does happen when we play Boston. What? Another review. Let's have a look. Was it Celtics or... I don't know who that's off. I think I blinked at the wrong time. I don't know whose ball it is. I reckon they fucking won the challenge again. The lucky bastards. They always have a perfect record with this sort of stuff. It's unsuccessful. Wow. So maybe it was just difficult to be deemed? I don't have any idea. Basically, in other words, they couldn't be fucked. You know, taking longer to really deliberate. So the Nets will have the ball on the baseline. And Bridges will inbound. Please do not fluff this. Inbounded to Thomas. Catch and shoot 3. Yes! 10-point lead. Thomas wanted a whistle again. Mate, we've put in a shift to give ourselves a bit of a chance. Tatum is still out, so... Oh, wow, they've just thrown it into the open floor. Thomas in transition. Takes it in. Runner is good. It's down to 8. And I think they're signaling for Tatum to get up off the bench. Because this lead is evaporating for Boston. They still haven't cracked 100 points. They have been stranded on... Well, within 3 of 100 for ages. They miss again, and it's another rebound for Schroeder. So, Thomas will have the opportunity. No, Mikal, easy layup or throw down. Take your pick. And it's down to 6. An 11-1 run in the last 3 minutes has seen the lead get trimmed. Brown, the switch... Blitzed, cross-court to Horford. White up top. He's left alone, and he hits. I mean, they were going to hit a 3 at some point, and they finally get one to go. But, I mean, rotation's got to be better. You can't just allow that. So, Schroeder the drive. Gets it to go! +1. And, mate, the Nets have... done what they've needed to do to get into a very good spot. You know, this is the position where Boston have everything to lose and you've got nothing to lose. You've trailed the majority of the game. And for Boston to lose from here, it would be, well, a bit clownish on their part. But for us, we've just got to go all chips in, really. Down 7. Another free throw coming up for Schroeder. Oh my God. 1 of 3. I guarantee you he never shoots free throws that badly. Leaving a few points on at the line. It's just, you can't afford to do it. Around the spin. Bro, where was the foul? Mate, that is fucking bullshit. Got it. Elbow to the face. No call. Oh my God. So they just get a 2 back. Oh my God. Schroeder the drive. Gets into the paint. He's now got Horford on him in a switch. And now it's out to Mikal. Gives it back to Schroeder with 5 to shoot. Creates the separation and shoots a mid-range. That is just not the shot, Dennis. You've got Cam Thomas on the court. And the Nets have, well, fair to say, the opportunity may well have already slipped here. They make another basket. Here's Holiday. Tatum in the corner. It was an open look. He took a dribble, shot a 2, converted the 2. And JV needs to call a timeout, man. We've missed our last 5 shots or something like that. Clax is getting ready to check in. And he's just fucking lost the ball. That's why the timeout should have been fucking called, JV. That's why the timeout should have been called. It's fucking simple. Yeah, bro. The referees are fucking blind. Elbow to the face before. Elbow to the face and jersey tug. Nothing. That's when you know it's fucking scripted. Round the drive. The wraparound pass to Horford on the outside. He'll get it back. He's got Claxton on him. He shoots over the top and converts. And just like that, JV still hasn't called a timeout. Still hasn't called a fucking timeout. They've gone on a 7-0 run in response. You should have called a timeout the minute they got a 3. And we've just called another fucking turnover. There's the game right there. Because you couldn't fucking call a timeout. Rally the troops, man. You don't do shit, JV. We've gone on the run, but the minute the run ended, you should have called a timeout. It was a terrible 3 to give away. And Clax has just been teed up. It's just turned to shit in about 3 minutes because this guy couldn't fucking call a timeout. If I was coach, I would have called a timeout immediately. Because I would have been like, you've gotten it down to 6. You just gave away a cardinal sin of a 3. You should have well and truly done something to stop that and hold him accountable and say, look, lads, that was just a terrible sequence. You have 2 options here. You either knuckle down and don't give that shit away, or you let the game slip. And we still haven't seen the call. White for 3. It's off. The rebound by Wilson and now Schroeder. So 5 minutes to play. It's back up to 14. They've doubled the lead in about 2 minutes. Thomas is going to step back for 3. It's just not the shot. He somehow hits it. I just don't know why that's the shot. But if you're Boston, you can't really complain with that defense. I mean, it was basically face guarding. So Brown on the outside. We have to get a stop. The switch. It's Thomas picking up Brown. Now Holiday. Knocked away. It's going the other way. And it's Thomas who is able to disrupt. Brown had an easy layup, but Thomas was able to bumble it out of his hands. And it went off Brown last, so we can get it back down to single figures. 4:50 to play. Picked up by Thomas. Got to use the Claxton screen. He does. The switch. Another 3. And he didn't score, but it's been chalked off. And it will actually be Nets ball on the side because there was a foul off the ball. 4:46 to play. 11-point game. That's another 3 by Thomas. He's hit another one. Or was it deep 2? Toe on the line, I think. So probably scoring the toughest of twos you'll ever get. Brown into the paint. That's going the other way! And Schroeder claps his hands right in front of Jaylen Brown, who actually helped him up. I thought he was going to be a little bit of the retaliation type, but Schroeder is able to draw the charge, and well done, because I don't see too much of that from this Nets team. I haven't seen much of it this season. Full stop. We still have not seen a timeout. So JV just continues to let it run. And it's knocked away by Holiday. And it will yet again be the Nets on the side. How many timeouts do we have left? It feels like we've got 4 timeouts still. And he just is saving them for what? As if he can convert them into credits later on. Like, I don't get it. Thomas got Horford on him. Step back 2 is off. And I wouldn't have shot that. He had multiple players on his hammer. There were open shooters on the weak side. He just needed to try find him. Instead, the Celtics can get it up. Horford, wrap around, flips one up and in. And can't imagine that's what they thought that they were going to shoot off that possession. But Horford scores for 2. It's back up to 11. And Thomas now is heavily guarded by Holiday here. Screen by Wilson. Thomas is doubled again, and he was fouled by Holiday. And Thomas looks like he got hit in the nose, right in the schnoz. And see, you know what that is? That is a proper blitz. That's a proper blitz. The amount of times we blitz, and it is not even remotely close to the pressure like that. Like, it's ridiculous. Mikal the drive. Lob and Claxton with the throwdown. And it's a 9-point game still. So we continue to hang around. But 3 minutes 30 to go. Time is against us. Wilson's going to come over and blitz. See, that is... Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. What you just witnessed, well, you didn't witness it. I had to fucking witness it. Look, I wouldn't wish it upon you to have to witness this, right? First of all, the blitz. Such an ineffective blitz. You're just allowing an easy pass out. And then the inability to get the steal. When there was only one possible pass, they got an offensive rebound. Brown's going to reload and miss that one as well. And Bridges gets the board. So Schroeder's going to bring it up. And we've got a fair bit of facilitating here. Thomas. Wilson is open and ready to shoot it, but that's a terrible pass. He still fires and hits. Woo! Wilson's getting the look late, and he converts a big 3. It's back to 6. I thought the game was done when they got it up to 14. If you're going to blitz, you have to face guard. You have to trap him. Brown, picked up by Wilson. The drive, the kick out is open. That's an open look, and he hits the 3. I mean, it's just like you can't do that. It's just you can't do that. Oh my God. Wilson the pump fake. Driving kick. Bridges lost Jayson Tatum, and it's back down to 6 again. But if you want to get it down further, stop blitzing. You don't need to blitz yet. You are only down 2 possessions. You've got 2 minutes. They're going to feed Tatum. Help defense. And he's just it's too easy. It's too easy. You didn't even... No pressure whatsoever. Just allow the pass to Tatum. Allow him to get inside. Allow him to score. Bro, you had... Oh my God, bro. You had Claxton open under the basket. Thomas has tried some overcomplicated shit. All they need to do is run the clock out. And this will wrap things up for them. Tatum drives on Thomas. Holiday on the baseline. It's basically an open 2, but he missed it. So we've got to move it quick now. Schroeder the spin. Scoops it to Wilson. Pump fake. Gets inside. Kick out to Thomas. Was a little bit wayward. Bro, you don't have time to do a bunch of dribbles. Thomas is going to feed Schroeder. We got 6 to shoot, and nothing looks like it's going to happen, and Tatum is fouled. Or Schroeder is fouled by Tatum. We're going to get a timeout. What on earth is JV saving these timeouts for? I need to know how many timeouts he's had left. Or has left. Like, dude, come on. He's like let the game run for 8 full minutes. If only they didn't go on that bullshit run that got him from 6 back up to 14 points. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like and subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back for Nets versus Boston tomorrow. So, look, we've done well to get back into the game. We were down by as much as 23 in the third quarter. But of course, Boston were always going to be able to... elevate things back up. You know, they were never going to be in an offensive rut for that long. So look, it would take something special from here to win the game. I mean, we've got 62 seconds to score 8 points, and that wouldn't even be a best case scenario. I mean, that would send us to another 5 extra minutes. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like, of course. I appreciate the support if you can add to the tally. And, yeah, we'll be back in 24 hours. So hopefully the game's a little bit more competitive in the middle portion of the game. I could not help but think that we would be in this contest if we actually, well, didn't do some stupid shit, number 1, made our free throws, number 2, and... bottom line, weren't trailing by 23, number 3. Yeah. It's going to be like fair to say, it's been a good fight back. But like, where was the defense that we've executed in this second half, in the first half? I mean, granted, there have been a lot of open looks for Boston as well, but we've at least challenged the role players to make the shots. You know? So it's 116-108. There is a minute to play. You have to operate quickly. Do you hit a 3? Do you go for the 2? I'd go for whatever's on, of course, but I'd rather go a 2 than a 3, because if you don't score the 2, well, then the game's done. If you score the 2, you know, you're still within a 2-possession game. Same merit as if you scored a 3, basically. Just 1 extra point. Got to get it in. Wilson will get it from the inbounds. It's Schroeder on the outside. He's going to drive on Tatum. Flings it out to Wilson. The pump fake. Back to Schroeder. Open 3. Oh my God, that was so short. That would have been it. That was a good look, though. I mean, you can't complain with that. And there is a double. And Derek White's open for 2 under the basket. Like, that is how bad our blitz is. Like, the blitz is just terrible. We never ever are able to affect a pass when we blitz. Bridges scores for 2. It's back down to 8. But this was just too tough of a lead to come back from, you know, given we were down by 23 so late on. And I think that's going to do it. It was a sort of valiant comeback performance. I mean, you know, we were down by a huge amount, but it all stems from, as the clock will expire and run out, it all stems from defending Jayson Tatum in the first half. There was not nearly enough done. To you know, actually stop Jayson Tatum in the first half. It was pretty cynical sort of play. Overall, we played a good last quarter. But the problem is you're not going to win games of basketball playing one good last quarter against a team as good as Boston. We end up outscoring them in the second half. We actually played pretty solid defensively. Our best minutes were with Ben at the 5 and Jalen Wilson playing some really high quality minutes at the 4. The thing is, I don't know why Jalen Wilson only played 2 minutes in the first half. I actually think he would have been an important player to have, especially when you couldn't get the offensive boards, especially when, you had a few empty minutes here and there with Claxton and Dayron Sharp wasn't too bad at the 5, but the drop coverage was a little bit, while leaving a bit to be desired. So I think Ben at the 5 could be a nice little lineup to close games and have Jalen Wilson potentially at the 4. I loved that he was constantly pump faking and driving and kicking it back out. A lot of good things happened because of that. I think the next step in his play is actually taking it all the way in or shooting a sidestep 3, basically to the same sort of, replication as what you would see from like a Royce O'Neal pump fake. Overall, we lose this one by 8. I mean, I did say I don't want us to be blown out. I mean, it didn't really feel like we were ever in this game, to be honest. But we did have a sniff later on when we got it down to 6 with about 7 minutes left. And to be honest, I thought, well, if we got to keep this going. And unfortunately, we allowed them to get it back up to 14. And then from then on, it was just too tough to come back from. Maybe the result's different if we actually call a timeout after allowing a wide open Derek White 3. And maybe we have a different result. Maybe they don't go on that run. Maybe we flip the script the other way. Boston overall, I mean, Jaylen Brown usually is a flamethrower against us, but he wasn't nearly of that caliber today. Horford didn't miss. Derek White and Jrue Holiday hit some big shots. And ultimately, they shot the ball above 50% from the field, 40% from 3, 31 dimes. They did turn the ball over a ton in that second half, which is probably why we were able to get back into the contest. But overall, it was the Jayson Tatum show. I mean, the guy scored 31 in the first half. I do think we did the right things in terms of, restricting him in the second half. I did say at halftime, it's our goal to not allow him to score more than 45 and then just, test the role players and the players around him, the supporting cast, to try and make those big shots. And to their credit, in the last quarter they did, although in the middle portion, like at the end of the third, start of the fourth, you could see that sort of flaw with Tatum not scoring, being on the bench a little bit in terms of being managed, that sort of played into it a little bit. That was a factor. And ultimately, they ended up, letting us back in the game. We didn't have the firepower to get it done, of course, because, being down 23, you do yourselves a major disservice. Is Porzingis going to be available tomorrow? I'm not sure, but it is going to really put him in a good spot to win that game as well. The Nets, we got 27 from Mikal and 26 from Cam Thomas. Really good performances by both of those. I think it's more commendable from Cam Thomas because, at three-quarter time, he was shooting 5 of 13 and he goes 5 of 7 in the last quarter. So he doubles the amount of shots he converted in the first 3 quarters. I think the problem is the first 3 quarters, He shouldn't have only had 5 field goals made to that point in the game. Ends with 26, Mikal 27. Pretty well-rounded game by him. Cam Thomas did commit 5 fouls, though. A lot of players were in a fair bit of foul trouble. I think the good thing is Ben only played 24 minutes. That actually probably is the most he's played since he returned from injury. Cam Thomas played 34. Mikal played the most of anyone. Schroeder played 31 minutes off the bench. And while he started well, he made his first 2 threes, but from then on, he was a little bit rough watching. So Lonnie Walker, may have been an option, but that being said, you wanted Schroeder in, so you had a good sort of facilitating type player down the stretch, and I think he did deliver in that sense. But he did have a couple of big shots that he probably needed to convert, but didn't. overall, shot the ball pretty well. Turnovers, very similar with Boston. Free throws, probably left quite a few on the table. Schroeder missed a couple, and, well, Ben Simmons missed 3. But the guys that you probably wanted at the line, for the most part, made them. We shot the 3 well. I mean, we didn't do too much wrong. It was just the defensive work, which was, I mean, it lifted in the second half because, as I said, the 11 turnovers forced. But, you know, we left a few points on the table at certain stages, and Boston were good enough to capitalize. And ultimately, well, they had 4 extra shots and they converted 4 extra shots. And ultimately, you lose by probably 4 2-pointers. We made the same amount of threes as Boston. We made the same amount of free throws as Boston. It's literally down to the 4 extra shots they took and the 4 extra shots they made from those 4 extra. So sometimes it's about fine margins, and there were a few instances where things could have gone our way, and swung the other way. I mean, there was a couple occasions where we could have had a 2. They go up the other end, score a 3. Cam Thomas had a 3 that was chalked off because his foot was on the line. So fine margins, of course, but for starters, we should not have been down 23 in the first place. Yeah, and we only have ourselves to blame for that. And to show you how close it actually was outside of the field goals, and how dependent that was on the victory, look at these stats here. Like the free throws, similar. 3-pointers, similar. Field goals, as I said, difference of 4, and 4 2-pointers would have tied this game up if we had the same amount as them. Field goal percentage, very close. 3-point percentage, free throw percentage wasn't great on either side. Turnovers nearly the same. Rebounds nearly the same. Offensive rebounds the same. Everything nearly was the same. But ultimately, the only thing that really matters, ultimately, is going to be whether you get that W. And unfortunately, we just didn't have the source to get it done. Those who are exiting now, make sure to drop a like and subscribe on it as you depart. We'll be back here in 24 hours. I'm just going to check the other stats that I can't see on that screen there. Points off turnovers 14-7. Notably in the first half, Boston broke out in transition a lot more than they did in the second half. Those fast break points were, well, they got 14-8 and 14 points off turnovers to 7. So they very much probably got the advantage there. And there were a few instances where we weren't up to the task and weren't reactive enough to us missing or turning the ball over. We didn't get back quick enough. Whereas when we got the steal, we actually looked very non-urgent. Like there was one where we had a transition possession in the second half, and Lonnie Walker could have brought it up himself. Instead, he's passed it backwards to Schroeder and just completely slowed up the play. So that's pretty counterproductive with what this team wants to do, which is a little bit of a shame that we just didn't capitalize on that more often. And ultimately, points in the paint, 50-42. The Celtics only had about 18 in the second half. So credit to us for sort of forcing them outside a little bit more and testing them from out there. I mean, they did make their shots. The second chance points, there was barely any of those. I think it was 7 apiece at the half, and we only added 2 to our tally. Boston did not add a point in that respect. So overall, this game really couldn't have gotten a lot closer than what it actually was. I mean, the scoreboard will suggest that the Boston Celtics won by 3 possessions, but, you know, it actually was much, much closer. If you delve into the box score, even still, it didn't really feel like we were ever in the game. Like, Boston always had us at an arm's length. Every time we got back in the game, they hit a couple of big shots. Tatum scored 31 in the first half, got them that buffer they needed. And, well, we needed to do something special offensively in the second half to actually win and make up those 72 points that we conceded. But unfortunately, even though we did hold Boston to 46, which was one piece of the puzzle, the other part was the failure to score, and we only scored 53 points in the second half. So even though we did outscore them in the second half, we probably needed to really capitalize at the end of the third, start of the fourth, where Boston just could not buy a bucket and they were stranded at 97, 98, 99 points. So yeah, that's really the scoop. We're basically done here. Make sure to show your support on the way out. We will see you back here for Nets versus Celtics tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. We will see you, in 24 hours. Stay safe until then. And yeah, that'll do it. Thank you. Have a good one. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.